Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Community Engagement Committee meeting. I'd like to start off by, first of all, congratulating Katie
Oh, thank you.
and Andrew. I don't know if he's going to join us this evening for their reelection.
Yeah, thank you.
Couldn't find two better people to represent our community here, and I'm sure share the same sentiments here with Paul. Philip.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Congrats, guys.
Well, I should hope so, because I'm sitting here. And thanks to Joel for running too. It was a successful election
Maybe
cycle.
Joel will be joining us here because
I think so, yeah.
Joel's got some mighty good ideas,
Yes,
some
he
great
does. He
ideas.
does, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll first of all take some resident comments if I know Marty's here, and hopefully surely she'll have something to say to get things kicked off here before we talk about other events.
Gee, Keith, you think I might have something to say, huh? Gee, maybe so.
Now, I'll be
First of all,
disappointed, Marty, if you didn't. I can always.
Aw, that's
be with
nice. First thing I want to say is thanks for the gorgeous weather. Keep it up. We really like it. And may it continue through the 4th of July events and any movie nights we have. I
That's
really
right.
like this.
That's
70,
right,
80
that's
degrees.
right.
This is good. Keep it up. And kudos. Also want to congratulate the folks who ran in the election and won in the election. I guess there's an election committee meeting later this week, and I do have some questions for them, but that's not for tonight. What I do have for you tonight is an update from Jean about the listserv stuff. You know, I've been one of the people, as many others, who's been impatient to sort of get a working listserv. I still can't post anything, and neither can a whole lot of other people, and new residents still can't get on, and we've got a lot of new residents now. So anyway, I talked to Jean this afternoon, and she said that Joel Klicksberg is now willing to step up and help her. When I talked to Joel during the campaign, that was one of the issues I raised with him. And he's got a lot of technology background. He's good at this tech stuff. And he said he would be willing to help fix or create a new listserv if we need to do that. And so Jean is planning to get together with Joel this week. And Joel said he could set up a new listserv in 10 minutes, if that's the decision. So I think we're moving forward, although not nearly as fast as I'd hoped. Jean says hello to everybody. Have a little more patience. It's been really complicated because right now there is nobody who can actually access the management panel for the listserv. Bill Leibowitz can't get to it from his computer. Jean and Bill Catherwood can't get it from their computers. Maybe Joel can come in and be a whiz kid here. But in any case, we should have a decision shortly. And the only thing I would ask from the CEC folks is that when we do, if we do go with a new listserv, we're going to need to have the street captains get in gear and walk around a piece of paper that says how to sign up for the new listserv. And Michael obviously will need to put something on probably the weekly wrap up about how to sign up in it. And, just get the word out so that everybody can finally use it. It's been way too long since we had a working listserv. And I want to applaud and thank Jean and Bill Catherwood and Joel and everyone else who's tried to fix it so far, and let you know that it's still in progress. People haven't forgotten it, and they're just still working on it because it's not a simple problem. Ought to be simple, but it's not. So that's where that is. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be really glad to answer them. But that's the update on the listserv.
Just one question for me. What's the harm in just saying, sort of throwing up our hands and saying, let's just create the new one as opposed to all the effort going into.
Yeah, Phil, I know you're one of the people can't get on it either, like me. And that was my take on it too. Jean says that the concern is that we would lose the 80 or 100 people who are on the old one. And everybody would have to re-up basically and re-sign up. And she doesn't want to cancel people. She doesn't want people saying, oh, we canceled them from the listserv. She wants to make sure that if we can either fix the old one or there's some way, this is where Joel may be able to help, transfer the folks from the old one to a new one en masse, that's something that would be a lot easier than actually throwing people off a listserv ever, which is not ideal. So that's the issue.
Are there Are there people that can still post to the old listserv though?
A few, maybe 80, again, it's hard to even tell because we can't get into the management panel. It's hard to tell how many people actually could still post. Very few people use it anymore. Most people have dropped off because they couldn't post. And so it's a shadow of its original self, but still there are 80 or 100 people, she says, still on it in some sense. I guess I'm one of them because I can read what's on the listserv. I just can't post anything on it.
This is just my 2 cents, but it does seem like the risk of people having to re-sign up on the new listserv is less if there are people who can still send emails to the old listserv saying, hey, we've got the new one set up now. We're going to decommission the old one in T-minus,
I
2
like
weeks.
that. I think that
Then-
makes perfectly good sense, Phil. I agree with you.
Yeah, it would be different, I think, if there was no one that could do that, but if you've got if you've got time and you can sort of plan around it, then it seems like you all are sort of, I worry you're tilting at windmills a bit. When you could be spending your time investing in something that's new and better and could get everyone on board.
I agree. I'll take that back to Jean because I completely agree. I did say something sort of similar to her, although probably not quite as clearly as you just put it. So let's see what we can happen in the next 2 weeks. Because I like you. I mean, I'm just getting really impatient here, and I don't want to be impatient with the folks who are working on it. I want to just get it fixed. So we'll do. We'll do. Thank you for that. I think it's exactly right.
All right, Marty, Paul, you want to put anything in there? Okay, thanks very much, Marty.
There are a couple other people online if you want to ask.
Oh, you got some other people. Who we got on there? How many we got?
2 more.
Anybody else that's online that would like to add anything to that regarding the listserv?
Or any other resident?
Any other residents?
This is Jeff Blander. I concur with what Phil said, and I appreciate everyone's hard work. I think, all protocols reserved on all the magnificence everyone's put into it, but I think it takes very little. In fact, it takes minutes to set up a new listserv, and I think there's enough capabilities for folks to post some messages. And again, I know there's been some controversy, not the right word, but I know that there's some firewalls between, village administrated versus volunteer resident administrated. But I'm sure that following proper protocols that Michael could, put out a friendly note that there is a new resident run listserv to Constant Contact. So I think you've got a real pathway here. So it sounds like it's very promising. Over.
Thank you. Yes. There's no plan to have Michael run the listserv. We would have residents do that. And if any of the fellows here on our CEC would like to be one of the listserv moderators, we want to have at least 2 people on the listserv henceforward.
Okay, Marty, thank you. Anybody else on that subject of the listserv? Okay, you don't have anything to add there? Maybe.
No, I like what I'm hearing. It sounds like it's moving in the right direction. I think, what we just need to do is just build it from scratch, but just get the word out. Yeah, and we can do that. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, well, that'll take us into our Independence Day celebration. That will be on Sunday, July the 2nd. And I know Michael's excited about that. And he's going to be one of the acts that people are going to, that's going to be a tough act to follow because I've seen him do it and it's amazing.
Oh, it's more.
Yeah,
No,
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, he's a juggler and he's great. He's great.
Michael, you're a juggler?
Yes.
Oh, that is too
Literally.
cool.
You have to be in this job, I think.
Boy, ain't that the truth? That's really fun.
We wanted to establish a time, and I'm thinking about 1 to 5 p.m.
I thought we said 2 to 5. maybe we start setting up at 1, but 2 to 5, and that's what we told the vendor as well.
Okay.
So maybe I can go through the vendor list, what we had in previous years, and then where we're at this year.
You like that KD 2 to 5? It's,
I
What
think
would
that
you-
sounds right, yeah, I think, is that what we did last year? Sounds right, yeah.
you can
Uh,
set that on the time, like,
All I know is we need tents this year, because that's a hot part of the day,
Oh, yeah, you need-
and we're on the
you
black.
can have that
Yeah.
regardless of whether it rains or not.
Yeah,
And did we not have tents last year?
there was a
Baseball.
little, people volunteered and set up their own tents, like my tent. But, because we didn't get tents, but we have tents, village tents, right?
We
Is
do.
that
I have
correct?
4
And you found them?
well-working tents
Excellent, I think that's
and 2
really,
broken tents.
oh, no, so we had 6, but 2.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I think we just, as long as we offer a place for shade.
Yeah, and maybe we can set up around the trees and
Yeah.
utilize
Yeah,
what shade there is already. That's a good point.
yeah.
I
Are
wasn't
we
thinking
gonna,
of that, so
are we gonna have the splash water pool to cool off it?
yeah, that's the big vendor,
all the guys are missing.
Mid-Atlantic Adventures. We've already confirmed them, and I paid the first half deposit. And we can talk about the budget in a minute, but includes slip and slide, splash slide, small water slide, dunk tank, beanbag toss, 11 tables, folding chairs, event manager, the whole works. That's the same as last year. And they emailed me and said, even the Thursday before, we can do some add-ons if we want, including they have their own DJ setup.
Oh.
They have a cotton candy machine. They have a popcorn machine. And they have a snow cone machine. So if any of those are add-ons we want, I think in previous years, we have kind of piecemealed this out and had different vendors do different pieces of it. 1, that's a lot to organize, and 2, it's probably not as cost effective. So maybe what we do is just say, do everything,
Yeah.
and then just take our hands off of it and let them go.
Yes,
Great,
great idea.
I guess the only, I like that idea. The only one I worry a little more about is the DJ. Given that at least institutional history wise, I've heard that you all have had good DJs, not so good DJs in the past.
I'm sure.
So I like not knowing anything about it. I thought we did a good job with the DJ at the Halloween, and we found someone
Mhm.
that we liked. I think the only question in my mind is whether or not we want to compromise. I don't know what the trade-off in price is there. But that would just be the only thought I have there.
Do you remember who the DJ was we used for the Halloween party? Because
Sure.
that was 2
Yeah.
weeks before I started, so I don't think I ever
I can get it.
worked with them.
I can get it.
But I would be happy, and we haven't ordered any of those additional items yet, so we could pick and choose. And if we have a good DJ that we like, I agree, DJs are risky.
He did a good job, the Halloween, the one we got, and
He's
he
local
added
too.
that MC element.
Oh,
where,
nice.
You know, because I've been trying to get this tradition going of dunking a council member in the dunk tank. And Jeffrey
Okay.
Blander
Uh-huh.
took the bait last year.
Are you volunteering this year? Is that,
Well, it's
is that what?
supposed to be the chair is supposed to be
Mhm.
dunked. So we'll see. Andrew is there.
You volunteered.
He was
And I just want to
engaged.
say that it is magnificent that you are going to have slip and slides, because that is our absolute favorite activity.
Fantastic, yeah.
Well,
And I vote for the snow cones. I like the snow cones.
And the cotton candy.
if Andrew is not on, doesn't that mean that?
I mean,
it-
yeah,
It just
I
got
think
recorded
he
into
just-
the
yeah.
how it
He'll
works?
record and he will have to be in the dunk tank.
So I will send you this information, Michael, but just so you have it, it's Michael Goldman, DJG Events, and Josh at djgevents.com. I'll send it to you, 202-630-8119.
Please send that, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Gold, okay. Yeah, and that's actually not the DJ we used for the 4th of July party last year, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because I had the phone number for somebody else.
I think that might have been, if I'm remembering correctly, that might have been the feedback that we were responding to.
Doug
In-
Foot,
You're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. okay,
Um,
got it.
They gave some of it.
Okay. Well, in any regard, that's an option that we could add on if whatever other DJ doesn't work out. I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of events happening that weekend because it's 4th of July and we're only 2 weeks out now, so, or 3 weeks, something.
And I've got the fire department, Montgomery County Fire, Montgomery Fire Chief coming
Awesome.
to it. They'll bring some apparatus over here, including an antique fire engine that Paul remembers, and hopefully Paul will have his Cadillac.
Oh,
I can do that.
Nineteen-
That can give me,
1960,
give me an incentive to
yeah.
get it from under the covers.
there you go.
We do have a call out for Face Works that does the face painting, balloons, I think, as well. We're still waiting to hear back from them. They were supposed to call us today, but they never did. And then in the previous year, we've used a shaved ice company. I think we're using AJ, right? Is that correct?
AJ.
We like this ice cream truck that was here for the celebration on the sidewalk. So we're using them again. And also the Mid-Atlantic Adventures setup has a snow cone option. So I was thinking we could add the snow cone option and bring in AJ. So that would work for that. And then we've had several food trucks in the past, but Swizzler, I think that's
Swizzler, right.
a hot dog truck of some kind.
Yeah, they love that.
Popular.
And then I was thinking, we do have extra money this year, and we can talk about the budget, but we could talk about maybe adding another food truck or maybe more of adult food versus hot dogs. I don't know if you all had any recommendations on additional food trucks you would want, or someone else I can call. I'm happy to. Me and Aaron were putting our heads together and thinking about different types of trucks that could maybe come and would work well. But
I also don't know, I've only had 1 or 2 experiences now dealing with the food trucks. But I think you can structure their agreement, right, so that you are only paying for what gets used effectively. So like, you can get 2 food trucks to come, you can sort of say, yeah, we expect there to be a minimum, but you're not overpaying and guaranteeing more than we think might be used, right?
and that's how it works for the ice cream truck. We only pay for the ice cream. They keep track of how many ice cream cones we sell, and then we pay for that.
So
With
sort of
a tip on top of it as well, of course, but
like guaranteeing that they can handle the volume, and they don't want to get so slammed that they can't provide it anyway, so I'm all for
having 2 food trucks.
What about barbecue? Like there's that, the Rock Brothers barbecue that are occasionally in the Section 2 dog park. Something Brothers barbecue.
It's called the Rock Brothers.
But I like barbecue.
We were also looking at Honey Mussel Barbecue.
Right.
Was a food truck we were aware of.
Right.
So maybe one of the 2 will be available. We can try. Can't hurt.
Because what is the Section 3? Are they having a?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
What about pizza?
Yeah, we
Kinda
thought
like-
about pizza as well. I've been to events with Timber Pizza, which is in my neck of the woods. They have a really good food truck trailer situation that they come out and they make pizzas fresh on the spot.
Oh.
That
That's
sounds
really,
great.
That's really nice. It might be very expensive, so I do think we need to watch it a little bit and not spend our entire budget on the first
Right.
on the second of the new fiscal year.
Exactly.
Right.
I go crazy.
the ones that we looked at last time, these were booked when we looked at Halloween, but the Bill Kane recommended for barbecue, it was Smoking Cow. Cow with a KOW. And then Astro, which is Astro Donuts and Fried Chicken.
Good notes.
Mhm.
Katie Armands.
Oh,
They've been here for.
Armands,
a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah, they still have the
I wouldn't
Rockville.
do that.
Yeah, the art
But I like-
location, yeah.
I like that outfit from down there in Bedford.
Mhm.
Timber, yeah,
Timbers, Quality.
yeah, it's the best. Well, I'll give them a call and see. It can't hurt to call.
People
So
have
a little,
options, yeah.
little extra in the
Yeah.
budget, that might be the way to go.
Yes, and what other vendors were there? Baseworks, Shaved Ice, Good Humor.
Someone's hands up.
Oh, Jeff's hand is up.
Jeff,
Hey, yeah, I just a couple thoughts, and please take it offline. I don't want to be a distraction, but two things which I've always kind of wondered about, but I haven't asked about is, so one is, you know, if we have some families that we might want to invite, like in the past, you know, if we've had a couple people come, and I've always wanted to contribute for them, just like if they come to, like, you know, our pool, right? Hey, I'm just wondering, you know, do we or should we, you know, encourage folks, or if folks want to invite other families who don't live in the neighborhood? I mean, is it just folks can, or should we say, oh, give like some token contribution of like $10 or something, not per person, but per family? But I just want to raise that. And then
Jeff,
the other
Jeff,
thing,
let me take that, okay? Everybody is
yeah,
welcome,
yeah,
and we're not gonna charge anybody $10 or 10 cents. Everyone is welcome to our celebration.
Cool.
And
no,
I would
that
say,
sounds
on top of that,
But-
Jeff, the permit that we have received from Montgomery County to use the park, we indicated that it's a public and open event.
Okay.
So that's
Awesome.
actually a requirement of our permit.
We're
And then I
serving
one
out.
other dumb question, which is, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I know that the other jurisdictions have celebrations. Some overlap, some don't. And I'm wondering if we have any outreach on coordination of reciprocity. I know that we've gone sometimes 2 or 3 on the same weekend in just other parts of Chevy Chase because Rosie has friends who are in those areas. But anyway, I just wanted to put it out there because, you know, it's always fun when you have multiple celebrations. If you know about it, maybe with the kids and stuff, they can always kind of float around. But I just wanted to put it out there.
Good idea, thank you, Jeff. Okay, so. We were gonna talk about the budget.
Yeah. If you want to talk about the budget next, unless there's anything else related to the.
Not
Fourth of
right
July-
now, I think we've got everything covered very nicely.
Do we need to, the only thing I was gonna ask before we go to budget, do we need to talk about making sure there's sufficient folks to help with setup and
Yes.
cleanup?
Well, Aaron and I will be there, and the vendor is sending their staff for the big stuff. So honestly, I don't think there will be too much. You obviously all have done this before, and I haven't, so I'll lean on your
I recruit-
expertise.
I recruit my street,
Street captains.
I recruit everybody. Yeah, and they'll do whatever I ask them to do. They're very, very cooperative. And I also have a couple of kids that are,
Yeah.
that have volunteered. So
Fantastic.
we're good to go.
Yeah, we'll set up the tents and bring out the coolers, and maybe I'll pick up a bunch of waters and juices and those types of things just to keep people hydrated. No alcohol from the village, as we don't have a license to do that. So I know there were some people that are disappointed we didn't have alcohol at the celebration on the sidewalk. But I just want to clarify that we don't serve alcohol and don't have a license to serve alcohol. So that's that. I do things by the book. So just getting that out of the way ahead of time. People can find their own alcohol if they really want it.
The only time that management here has agreed with me. I like your idea. I've always been very strong proponent of no alcohol. Well, some people have told me, well, if that's the case, they're going to another party.
And we do have other events, you know, at La Firm that then will have a license and a bartender and everything. So anyways,
So do we need a special permit, or that we're not supposed to?
I mean,
do
I,
that period.
I don't know what the permit you would need would be, but I mean, it would involve a
Event
liquor
permit
license.
or
I think in the past it was just kind of on the Q2.
Oh,
some of them
okay,
had got
yeah.
Cans.
Yeah.
Well, they can put it on my property. I mean, I've allowed that. If they're gonna have it, I don't want it out where kids can.
BYOB,
Okay, well, yeah. Oh,
and I'm not involved in it, so that's on you.
I think we just mentioned that and just said that there'll be no adult beverages.
mhm.
People are welcome to bring their own coolers.
It'll all be in the trunk of the Cadillac.
Right. Yeah.
I
That's
want to
right.
ride in that Cadillac.
It's got a big trunk.
There you go. No, I understand. That's, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We
Yeah,
can. work with that.
we probably ought to, given that prior expectations.
We can, I was gonna put together a list of everything we're gonna be offering and doing and all the activities. And we can say, you know, no adult beverages will be served at this event. And then people can do what they want.
Right.
And if the celebration on the sidewalk was any was any indicator, people
People
do what
are-
they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
able to figure it out.
There's a-
Yes.
Well, you're right, because.
And then what did we do a parade? Was there, did we organize a
For Halloween.
For
but not
Halloween,
for
not for
Independence Day.
okay, got it.
But if you want to dress up as Uncle Michael, that could be.
Statue of Liberty. Huh?
Also, is it section 3 does their parade for Independence Day, right?
They do like a bike parade. or
Yeah,
something.
so it's sort of their,
Yeah, that's.
Well, what I'm
Actually,
thinking
on the
about
4th,
is
I said.
have the fire department lead the parade, and
Yeah.
anybody who wants to join in with that, we can. You know, go up the
I
street.
mean, we have done that, it's not like a tradition, but we have done that in previous years. There was whoever organized it 5, 6 years. No, it would have been like, sorry, 10 years ago, because my daughter's baby was just born, so it was when she was a baby. But we did like a scooter, decorate your scooter, stroller, that sort of thing. And same thing, came up Turner and back. But I mean, I don't know if
Okay.
you want to do that. It's, you just decorate your bike or your scooter and.
Okay.
That's when I did it myself,
Hmm,
for 3 years,
yeah,
10, 11, and 12.
yes, yeah,
The reason for that is because the council said that because of the big snows that we had
mhm,
in the winter of 9 and 10, that, you know, they couldn't afford it, budget.
oh, okay.
So the old man picked it up.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, thank you.
And that's when we did the bicycles.
That's when you did the bikes, okay.
That wasn't my
I'm
idea,
glad
that
you
may have been
There
your
was-
idea.
There
Katie.
have been
That was a
bikes.
great idea.
Well, maybe that's a good opportunity to turn and talk about the budget, because
Yeah.
as you know, the council passed our FY 24 budget, which starts July 1. This event's on July 2, so everything will be recorded in
Ball.
Right.
next year's budget, which is great because we're out of money for this fiscal year. This last fiscal year, we had $30,000 for community events. Next year, we're gonna have $48,500. So that's thank the council members for that. This event specifically, the 4th of July event has cost us about $10,000 in previous years, including last year. Which was right under $10,000. So I don't think we should be shy about going over that number. And at the looks of it right now, we'll break 10,000. And if we do 2 food trucks, each food truck, just so you all know, like the ice cream truck was 1,400 at the celebration on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So we're probably talking $2,000 for a food truck. I think the hot dog truck last year came in at $3,800. But that was to have one hot dog truck. So if you have 2, maybe you split that on a little bit and do 3,000 a piece or something.
Yeah.
The adventure slip and slide budget, I think was also about $4,000 last year.
Mhm.
So that's your budget. $4,000 for the slip and slides, and that's gone up a little bit as well. It's closer to 5,000 this year. So that's where we're at.
Great.
any questions
So
about?
that would be, over the 10 grand, that would be around, what, 12,500 when all is said and done?
For this year, what?
Guesstimate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, depending on the second food truck, because if it's 5,000 for the slip and slide at Mid-Atlantic Adventures. It's gonna be, let's say, 6,000 for food, plus another 1,000 for the ice cream truck. You're talking, and then if we get face painting or Good Humor or some of those smaller vendors to come as well, yeah, you're looking at 12 to 15,000 for this first. So that's the big one. The just so you have some idea of the other events, the movie nights have cost about $2,000 a piece. I know we talked about doing multiple of those. Here's over the last year, here's what happened. 4th of July was about $10,000 last year. The movie night, which happened in September, was $1,700. The Halloween event was about $6,000. Volunteer reception was $1,500 last year. We have to talk about that.
Volunteer reception.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's something the council does to thank all the volunteers for
Yeah.
the different committees, and I think maybe the street captains as well.
We had that, that's right, we did that over the
The
firm.
firm, yeah.
Yeah, so that was about 1,500, and we still might be doing that. We need to talk. I think maybe the council needs to talk about that as well. So, and then the brunch was $8,000. And then the celebration on the sidewalk was just the ice cream truck, because I cut down on the vendors that we paid. Everyone was free besides for Good Humor.
How much did you pay, AJ?
1,400, which included a healthy tip as well.
Thank you.
Just curious, how much, I assume it's not a ton of those were alcohol, since I assume alcohol wasn't a big part of those budgets.
Well,
We only at the brunch.
It was the
brunch and then the volunteer reception
Got it.
would have been, and then in previous years, I know there was like there was a wine night or something, midwinter wine night or some event, right? That included
At
alcohol.
somebody's house,
Was that at somebody's house?
that's at a private residence, right, Katie?
I think, yeah,
You know, well, that-
Okay.
yeah, that's where it was,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
which is a nice thing.
So, yeah, but you have another $18,000 this year. So if every event goes up a couple $1,000, we'll be okay. So we can, basically that means we can add a vendor every single event, we can add a movie night, and we can add a vendor, another food truck. We can do something fun in the late summer or something.
Okay, so
we'll be good.
that's a good segue to go into the movie night. And the only, we're gonna have one in September, which we usually have, so that's gonna only leave us August to have that. And let's do that. Let's set a date, decide whether we're gonna do it on Saturday or Sunday evening. Could do it on a Friday.
So do you all want to set the September date right now?
Yeah,
And then
August,
September and August?
yeah.
Okay. What's everyone's August look like?
The only.
We normally do it on a Saturday, correct?
Yeah, are there any holidays in
Sunday,
August?
we've done it on Sundays.
Movie nights on Sundays.
Labor Day weekend, right? Or
Yes.
the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. When's Labor Day weekend? I don't have to
Uh,
call it that.
September 4th.
Okay.
I guess the only bias that comes to mind is I do feel like you're more likely to get people in town the later in August you go. The earlier in August, you get people that are still traveling for the summer. And then once school starts back, people are around. So if you're trying to maximize attendance, I feel like if you go either, either the last 2 weekends in August, and then sort of move out accordingly in September, you're probably more likely to maximize attendance than if you go early.
Good point.
Yeah, because schools start up again that last week of August. Yeah, I mean, Montgomery County, and some of the private schools may start earlier, later in there, but, so, yeah. Or what if we did the Sunday of Labor Day and like a Saturday night in August?
You know, that's good. That'd be good.
Like a Saturday, a Sunday.
And then how
and
close would we
Saturday.
want to do these together? These will also be pending on us being able to get the vendor for these dates, of course.
Mhm.
So, but once we have the date set, then I can call the vendor and make sure that they're available.
So we're thinking like what were you saying?
Well,
Second week of September, August.
I was thinking even later, like the 26th.
26th, or even then, like the 19th.
Yeah, the question is
or-
how close you want to do them together, because if we're
Well,
doing one
maybe
on Labor
spread
Day
them, yeah,
weekend,
like 2 weeks apart, maybe,
so if we're doing one on September 3rd, maybe do one on
I
the
think
19th.
This is, again, my own personal bias, and we
Yeah.
will be here, but I think you'll lose a lot of people if you do it on
Mhm.
Labor Day. I think a lot of people go out of town.
Not, we did it on the day before Labor Day. We do it on Sunday. Because people are off on Monday. If we do it on a Sunday in August, people still that are here are working. You know, kids are going to camp, things are open, business is open. So how about a Saturday in August and a Sunday, which we've done for the past several years for the Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think like a window of 2-3 weeks. between them.
So we do Saturday,
At
the
least 3 weeks, Paul.
3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
So the 20th and the 3rd.
that's 2 Sundays.
Oh, sorry,
The 19th.
20th and the 2nd.
Well, we're thinking the 19th, so a Saturday in August,
Mhm.
and then the 3rd Sunday of Labor Day. That's what I hear Keith saying.
And I think we can just see how the turnout is. I mean, when we did it on Labor Day last year, we had a really good turnout for the movie night. And I think Keith, remind me if I'm wrong here, but that was a Sunday on the Labor Day weekend, and yeah, it was really a great turnout. Of course, maybe it was the movie, people liked the movie, but the other
Well-
possibility
Well,
is rather than
Christmas-
August to do one later in September when it's a little cooler.
Isn't there a classic August movie? What's the August?
Some kind of beach movie? I don't know.
There's got to be some movie. Anyways, I like that idea, and because these events are, it's a set fixed costs. You know, we're not hiring. We don't have any food. It's just the vendor. That's one that I feel really comfortable about opening it up. And I've been contacted by Rollingwood Homeowners Association about potentially joining in
Oh, good.
events.
That's
so
a great idea.
I figured the idea of sending out an invite to their listserv, which is very active, I'm on it, and inviting them to that event would be, and Jeff, to your point, that's the opportunity to invite all the friends, extended family. Everyone can come because it doesn't change the cost for us at all.
Mhm.
Good deal.
You with us on that, Jeff?
1,000%.
Right.
Any other ideas on the dates or rejections on the date before I write it in pen right here?
Not even pencil. Give me a minute. Let's do it. And then I guess as we get closer, we can decide the genre of the movie. I know there were some mixed feelings on that at the last meeting. If it's family friendly, or do we offer more of an adult offering or a general one? Do we want to kind of pitch one to kind of tweens and teens? Like, what do we want to think variety, I guess, in our offerings? That was raised, I remember last meeting, right?
You want to consult with some of the moms? Could we do that?
Well,
general-
last year we did
general
we did
consensus.
that poll, we put out
Yeah, well,
3
that's right,
options,
I
we
mean, yeah.
did.
We need to see what the vendors have available as well. They don't have like a
Well,
million.
last year I just gave them a
I think
DVD.
they'll let you
played it.
do whatever,
Yeah.
they'll just charge you accordingly, like
Yeah.
they'll let you play Top Gun Maverick, they'll just, you pay the price. Right, that's my recollection of the way, and it's sort of like a sliding scale from first run movies are really expensive, and then
That's my choice.
We
That's
want,
what I
we
would
want
say.
something, family, Michael. Rated G. First
Okay.
of all, we need to find out if you can get the vendor.
Let's start with that.
Yeah,
Let's figure out the
let's do
4th of
that.
July party, and then I'll call the vendor and just lock in these dates, make sure we're all good on the permits and everything that we need. And then we'll go from there. And I like the idea of doing a poll.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll do a multiple choice, select your favorite of these 4 movies.
Right.
Yeah.
It was fun. It got a lot
I'd
of.
rather go with the
participation.
moms.
if anything, the voting was defensible. Right? It allowed us to say we put it to the village and
Yeah.
the village.
Yeah.
The village spoke. And we do have 2 different movie nights, so maybe we could go with the top 2, or we could go one for kids and one for adults, or something, something like that to kind of mix it up. That could be good.
That's a good idea.
Jeff, your hand is raised again.
Yeah, just a quick thought, and Michael, just when you're negotiating this stuff, we probably don't
Breaking up a bit.
have any
Jeff, excuse me, could I interrupt you?
leverage, but I can share, and I'm sure everyone around the table, Bert's probably been to about, go ahead.
We can't hear you, Jeff. You're.
No, we can hear you now. You're good, Jeff.
Yeah, now you're coming through.
Okay, perfect. I'll make it short. I was going to say, I've been to probably over the years with our family, easily well over 15, perhaps even 20 movie nights. And I'd say of those, probably close to 50%, there's been some sort of climate rain.
Jeff is drowning underwater.
Wait, a range, what did you say?
Pouring, if something like that happens, what the vendor builds in, or is it just a sunk cost? You can't do anything, because it's always disappointing for the kids if there's like a rain or something like that.
Rain,
Over.
rain. Okay, rain date, yeah.
Got it.
Thank you, Jeff. We finally were able to hear you. I agree. Yeah, we'll figure out, or I'll ask the vendor about what the rain day options are, whether we can reschedule them or what, but
Mhm.
maybe we'll have a rain safe date. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll do it the next week.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
good idea.
Okay,
Can I chime in?
go ahead, Marty, please.
In terms of daylight hours, August, it's gonna get dark later than September 3rd or 4th. So if we're gonna do an adult movie, we should do the adult movie in August, because that'll be after the kids' bedtime by the time it gets dark in August. But in September, it's getting dark earlier. So if you're gonna do a kids' movie, my suggestion would be do the kids' movie earlier in the evening, because, not to wait till past their bedtimes. And again, that's an idea to hold the second movie night in September, because again, it'll get dark earlier in September than in mid-August. So anyway, it's just a thought about, what daylight looks like and when we can actually start the film.
That's a good thought, Marty. Thank you. All right, so the other thing I think we've already talked about that we've got on the agenda here was the budget for, well, the 2024 events. We've got a surplus. Do you want to expand on that, Mike?
Well, I think we already talked about it a little bit,
What I
but
heard is, if we add a vendor to each event, if we keep the same list of events. We're adding a movie night, we'll have Halloween, we'll have the volunteer thing, we'll have the brunch, we'll have the sidewalk celebration. And if we add a vendor to each event, that'll take us closer to the budget, we can take a checkpoint halfway through the year and see if we will have enough money to add in an extra event.
Like that, Phil?
Yeah.
Katie,
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
what about you, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I think we go ahead and liberally spend on these first couple events, you know, and make sure they're really good and invite vendors, and then check in halfway through the year, maybe at a meeting to discuss what our events will be for the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Because there has been that midwinter wine night. There's been conversations about doing a holiday reception. There's been ideas of the brunch was a huge success, you know, and that was almost $10,000 right there. So, you know, that's and we could go bigger. We can always go bigger.
Wow.
Do we have any rollover funds from previous years? Like
Our budgets don't roll over, so
No,
it's
they-
always just an annual budget that you all
Yeah.
pass.
Okay, so-
But you did use it or lose it, and you did pass a
Yeah.
pretty big budget this year. So
so we'll use it. Yeah.
let's
We'll discuss maybe doing something in December.
Mhm.
Yeah, talk about that down the line.
Okay.
Because that's a good idea. We did do that one year. Katie, I don't know if you remember that, we did it down at Candy Cane City.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
That's been quite a while ago,
Mhm.
because we leased
Oh, that pavilion thing?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the pavilion?
Right next to where the little play park is, you know, there's a building.
Covered, yeah, yeah.
Sure, okay.
Never been inside it.
Yeah,
but
we can
I've
rent
seen
it.
Yeah.
would have been back in the days of Eileen Blum.
Yes, I think it sounds like it.
While back.
That's when you took a tram down the Thornapple to get.
We had to walk there. and back.
So right now we're looking at an event for the next 3 months, July, August, and September.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's Halloween.
Yep,
So, and just so I have a calendar idea here, the Halloween event actually happens on the 31st. Is that correct? It's on Halloween?
not
No.
always, no, no.
Try to keep it a day closer to Halloween, because on Halloween itself, all the kids are doing their trick or treating.
Uh-huh.
Especially if it's a weekday, right? When is Halloween?
Halloween
It's a
In
Tuesday.
2019, it fell on a
Yeah,
Halloween.
so we probably do it the
Right.
Sunday before Halloween then.
They were all able to go out trick and treat after that, because that was when the government issued a tornado watch.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
that was-
And I don't know if you remember that I told everybody, the women wanted to call it off.
Yeah.
With the engagement committee, I said, not to worry, the kids will even be able to do the trick and treating and get home before it hit. Well, we didn't get a tornado, but we got one heck of a storm,
Yeah. Like at 9
October
p.m.
31st, 2019.
So we're doing an
And
event.
then the next big storm that came after that was the COVID.
Yeah, that's right. Another storm, yeah.
So we are doing an event every month until November, and then we don't have anything currently on the calendar until we did brunch in March this year.
Mhm.
So that's a large gap. So if you're thinking about adding an event, it is a midwinter
Yeah.
something.
That's a really good idea. But we've never done anything like that before at the La Ferme. And the only one that we did before was the one I mentioned that was down at Candy Cane City.
Mhm, mhm. That's good.
And we can maybe even think about getting a food truck with some hot chocolate out here one night or something for the kids. You know, adding something small like that's really easy when it's just one vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
other thing
setup
too, Phil and Paul, would be to get people to go Christmas caroling. You wanna
With the hot chocolate.
think about that a little bit? Yeah, that's, you mentioned the hot chocolate. That's what made me think about the Christmas carols. Okay.
I see a 3-person duo right here.
All right, well, that'll bring us to the residents' comments before we close out. So I do hope that Marty and whoever else is on will chime in on that.
I just want to say thanks. Great meeting, always fun. And you are the fun committee, you guys. So thank you for all the good planning. Michael, thank you for all the work. Katie, it's always great to see you. And have your involvement.
Participating
Yeah,
too, Marty.
Marty,
Thank you
thank-
for your feedback.
Marty, thank you so much for always being here to support what we do.
I try to encourage it.
lending such good ideas. Appreciate you, Marty.
Thank you.
And Jeff, are you still with us? I guess not, but we certainly do appreciate Jeff.
Okay, one other quick
I am.
question. Keith,
Okay.
we have Yvonne Garza on the Zoom, and I don't know that name, so hello, Yvonne, and look forward to meeting you.
Hi, Marty. I'm here actually with Thomas. We are the new neighbors on 3507 Turner Lane.
Oh,
And-
wonderful.
Yeah, we're very happy. Thomas is here too.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Just wanted to say it was really nice to observe today's meeting, and it's clear that everything's very well run, and it's a grouping that we're really happy to be a part of. So thank you for your leadership.
Thomas,
Well, welcome.
this is
Welcome
Paul.
from all of
Thomas, I've met you a couple of times walking the dogs.
Yes, I think
Have you gotten your welcome bag yet?
I've heard about some welcome bag. It's not yet received, but
Oh, boy.
certainly no obligation. So we feel very welcomed.
Yeah, everyone has been so nice to us. We feel very welcome, and we want to also say that we appreciate that a lot. Everyone's great, and thank you for everything you do.
Thomas,
Fontaine.
don't you have that beautiful red car?
Yes. Who's that?
You remember you talked to me, we spoke a couple of times, I'm the last house on the left.
Of course.
Yeah, we're gonna get the welcome back to you.
Right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for being here
Thanks
with
for
us.
joining the call.
Well, before you all adjourn, I want to thank you all. I have had the most fun on this fun committee as one of your liaisons. And so just a heads up, probably at your next meeting, you might have another council liaison. So
You're ditching us?
well, we rotate the responsibilities, so.
And Andrew is joining just now.
Yeah. Oh,
Andrew.
now he comes in. Oh, Andrew, you're the
I've
delegate.
been all my life,
He's
Andrew.
connecting.
Katie, whoever joins, better bring some bloody cookies.
Oh,
Tonight, though, not that I mentioned.
That's usually when Andrew comes in looking for the cookie.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to come down tonight, Andrew, there's no cookies.
Guys, you don't want me there. I have strep and pink eye, so
Oh
you don't
my
want me in there.
No, that's okay. Well.
Could I ask real quick?
You recovered.
I'd love to hear about the block party.
And
Yeah.
Shepherd Street, it
That
was
worked
great.
out great.
Very good question. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, so just to let everybody know, a few weeks ago, I think towards the end of May, the residents of Shepherd and Brookville held a block party. We got the word out to everybody via email, thanks to Michael. We put flyers on people's doors. And I don't know how many actual residents of Shepherd and Brookville there are, but we probably had between 30 and 40 people show up to the party. People rolled out. Michael brought the community tables, but people brought chairs, they brought barbecue, they brought food, they brought coolers full of adult beverages. And it was it was a lot of fun. It was a great turnout.
Mike was there. We ought to try to encourage people
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
the other streets to
Sure.
do that.
Yeah, and really it was Yasmina Mudaris was the sort of ringleader,
Mhm.
and she rallied a few other people together, and and everybody was like, yeah, let's do it.
And when we make our call, the council puts the call out for committee volunteers. Wasn't there someone who was interested in joining your committee? So I say the more the merrier. So there's somebody else who wants to join, I think. That's what I heard, so.
So I was gonna ask, Paul and I ran into each other on the street the other day, and I was gonna ask, is there anything that prevents us from adding? Because that sounds like a fantastic idea.
No.
It's council
Yeah.
appointed, so as many volunteers as we can get. We love volunteers, so.
Especially for the fun committee.
Yeah.
And I think the council's gonna think about
I'd like to
some
get a
ways
couple
to.
of girls on this fun committee. By the way, would your wife be interested, Paul? No, you don't have to tell the Safeway story, Paul.
Can I tell the bloody Safeway story?
Uh,
No, we'll
Gonna have
Believe
to,
that.
yeah.
That's a story that can only be shared with a cocktail and.
But yes.
Okay, well, I think that's a wrap.
All right, well, thank
I want
you,
to
Keith,
thank
for
you.
let the record show. We finished,
Yeah.
3 minutes before 9 o'clock. That's quite an achievement for efficiency in public service.
Thanks, everybody that was with us this evening via Zoom. A little late, Andrew, but okay. And Marty, right from the get-go, and always Jeff, the best.
You're all magnificent, and I can't wait to go caloring with everyone during the holiday season.
Slip and slide.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
Alrighty,
sounds good.
cheers.
We're all